welcome to Butterfly Transformations. You are with Tunisia Ali, and I am here to help you to gain clarity and perspective, to heal and clear emotional blockages. All right, things that I can relate to, things that we can all relate to as we traverse this human journey, to help you to up-level your mindset and to give consideration to the things that might be holding you back, as well as helping you to manifest the glory of God that is within you, that is permeating all of creation. Okay, and so today, when I inquired as to Spirit, what should we talk about, and to show me by way of the medium that I tap into, I pulled 3 messages today. The first one was on forgiveness. No, that was the last one. That was the underlying energy. The other 2 energies are authenticity and devotion. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, as those things relate to the human journey and your particular journey. Now, this message will resonate for those people who can feel as though there's something in what I'm saying that speaks to something in their recent past, something that you may be going through currently, or something that you sense you may be moving into whenever it is that you see this particular message. We have the forgiveness card, which was like this. Doesn't really matter. Okay, you see her releasing something, okay? Letting go of something. And then we have devotion and we have authenticity. So this is what I'm going to talk to you about today, in terms of trying to relate this to the very real way in which we experience things as we go through this life. You know, you always hear me say everything is spiritual and spirituality is everything. It has nothing to do with religion. We're not talking about dogma and rigidity. We're talking about your growth, your experience of self as you sojourn through this beautiful reality that sometimes can feel like a hell on earth. Okay, but the more that we up level, the more that we raise our vibration, and the more that we understand that experiences come and go, and that everything that comes into our life comes in for a reason, comes in for a season, because nothing can stay with us forever. And we say a lifetime sometimes, but we have to ask ourselves, that attachment to the lifetime sometimes can cause us not to get the true message that we're supposed to get for a reason and for a season. And so at the bottom of this message today is one of forgiveness, possibly a failure to let something go that you need to let go of because you need to forgive something. All right, that perhaps you need to forgive something that someone has done to you. Or perhaps you may be even seeking forgiveness from someone, at which time, if you've made peace in your heart, I'm going to say this so that I don't digress and get off on that topic. If you made peace with asking for forgiveness, if you are seeking forgiveness and you've made peace with something in your heart from a place of sincerity, let it go. Don't continue to ask for and beg for forgiveness. Forgiveness is something that we do for ourselves when we forgive. So when we recognize that, we understand that insofar as we can seek it from another, we also have a responsibility to dig from a place of sincerity and also offer it to ourselves. All right, if you happen to be on the other end of that and you find yourself seeking it, that's something that you really are doing outside of your nature, and it's a lower vibrational thing. That means that you truly haven't forgiven yourself, and you haven't made peace or atoned for something possibly that you did, even if you aren't aware of it. So that's another topic. What I'm talking about is forgiving a situation that did not work out perhaps the way that you felt it should have worked out. Someone may have wronged you. Chaos could have descended upon a particular situation, whether it's work related, a situation with another person, a friend, a partnership, whatever. It doesn't matter. Your child, whatever it is. We forgive the things that people do because it is a way of us releasing and freeing up our energy. To the extent that we don't forgive, our energy field remains unable to rebalance. It remains blocked. It remains stagnant. And whenever something is blocked and stagnant, we can't grow. Whenever something is blocked and stagnant, the energy can't flow, which means that whatever you're holding on to, I don't care what it is. It could be something you're holding on to that a past lover or husband or mate or whatever did so long ago that you're still holding on to it, which means you're keeping it alive. You're keeping it alive in each and every moment, which means you haven't moved past it, which means you can't heal, which means you can't make space for a better day. So it's important to understand when you hear this message today, if there's something that you need to forgive, forgive that thing. Forgive that person, because they know not what they do, and they knew not what they did. First and foremost, we can only experience life at the level of our awareness, which means our consciousness dictates the degree to which we can experience life, which means our consciousness is what is responsible for our vibrational frequency and the way that we interact with life, and whether or not we're empowered or whether or not we are disempowered, whether or not we nurture toxicity in our lives, or whether or not we are able to move beyond those things that we need to be able to move beyond in order to move forward in our lives. So when you really understand that, if you understand two things: number one, people operate out of their level of awareness, their consciousness. Number two, people come into your life to teach you something about yourself that you just didn't get straight. So whatever belia, trial, tribulation that connection creates, or that relationship or that job situation creates, that person is just fulfilling on something that they came here to do, which was to be a part of your existence, so that you could learn what you needed to learn, so that you could get the lesson, so that you wouldn't repeat it, so that you could clear your energy of something that was holding you back or making things heavier. Albie, that's my dog, sorry. So the beauty in that, and the beauty in understanding that life is temporary, all right, and it's a series of experiences that we repeat over and over again, a series of people that come into our lives to help to enrich our lives. If we understand that it's temporary, these experiences and these people, and we try not to hold on to them or the experience, we can move through life more fluidly, with greater ease. I don't care what has happened. I don't care what your parents did. I don't care what someone else did. It didn't happen to you. Okay, it might have happened to your body. You might have gotten caught up in it with your ego, but it didn't happen to the purest aspect of your spirit and soul. Okay, that experience is not you. That experience was to teach the part of you that is in this physical material realm something that you needed to know about yourself. And unless and until you get that lesson, you're going to be angry with that person. You're going to be mad at that person, and that person is going to continue to trigger you. And as long as they're able to do that, you can't up level. You can't aspire to higher ideals. You can't live a healthier, more fuller life. You can't go on and have other experiences that are more healthy for you. So that is important. And that brings me to the next point of devotion and authenticity. If you are finding yourself in a situation where you are having trouble walking away from something or forgiving something because you needed to let something go, because you have come to the realization that you need to be more authentic, and you need to be able to communicate more of your truth, and in doing so, that is where your devotion is going. That's what you're pouring into yourself at this time in your life, a level of devotion to you and your journey, and your ability to care for yourself and give yourself the things that you need. In short, your ability to love yourself, that your devotion to that transcends anything that will cause you to repeat a cycle over and over and over again, or not be able to free yourself. Then you need to be able to accept and understand that that's where you are in your life, and that if that means that often when you are in that place in your life, it requires and means that you have to leave other things behind, and you have to be able to make peace with that. And when I say authenticity, I'm talking about the deeper layers of authenticity. I'm talking about when you arrive at a place in your journey where you can see the abundance on the other side, or you can see the hope on the other side, or you recognize that something in your life is holding you back, and you need to forge ahead, and you need to be able to move forward. Okay, because you've tapped into something that is more authentic in your reality, and you know that that part of your authenticity no longer resonates with what that experience can provide for you, then it's time to be devoted to that greater part of you that is your soul's calling for your evolvement, which means that you cannot keep reaching back and trying to pull somebody else forward. It is so important, or some other thing forward. It is so important to understand that when you have a light bulb moment, you increase your vibration, you begin another level of your ascension process, i.e. your soul's evolution, your soul's calling. And when you do that, almost unequivocally, it requires that you leave an environment behind, that you leave a mentality behind, that you leave some destructive, toxic habits behind, that you leave some people behind. Sometimes these people will fall off all by themselves, which is beautiful, because they will be repelled by your new level of awareness, your heightened state of consciousness. But other times, part of your test and challenge to stand in the reality of who you have become through a set of circumstances that have been difficult, through a series of tower moments, through a series of shifts in your energy, and through a series of rejection energy, or rejecting things that no longer work for your life. Through this process, you are being honed and you are being refined, and that is not for free. And what I mean by that is, you can come to a realization, but there will always be a test, something that will come into your life to test you and drag you back into the past, whether it's an addiction to drugs, whether it's a toxic relationship, whether it's a karmic situation. Karmic situations are not just people, they're also circumstances that you find yourself in, things that you continue to revisit, that when you look at the situation has had so much collateral damage that it has always pulled you off track. Anything that pulls your life off track, in addition to the blessing that it's teaching you, it's a karmic situation, which means you cannot up level while in that situation. So the only choice you have is to leave that situation or that person or that experience behind, okay? And so it's important to realize that when you're doing that, the hard work of that is enough. But the other aspect of it is that you have to be grounded and you have to make that a habit. And as soon as you do that, you will be tested by one situation after the other, i.e. temptations and everything else that seek to pull you back and put you back in that same pattern. Why? Because we are our energy. Why? Because in those karmic tests that we have in life come because of where we are energetically. They come because of what we've inherited energetically. They come because of patterns of energy and blockages that we have been steeped in, that we have been entangled with, which means down to the chemical releases that these situations can create. I want to make this palatable. Down to the situations themselves, create chemical releases, which then create mental ideations, which then create behavior patterns, which then create ways that emotions are drawn up, which then create a pattern. So when you eliminate one, you've got to recognize the signs that the others will also bring into your life. And why do I say that? Because you have to understand that these patterns are etched within us, and it took us a long time to live those cycles and to commit those betrayals against ourselves, and that to release that energy is not something that you get to do overnight, but it is something that you get to prove. Okay, you have to show and prove, y'all, to get to the next level. You can't sit under the tree and pray and expect the abundance to just come. There is work that is involved in leveling up. All right, there's responsibility that is involved in leveling up. And once you get over to the other side, you don't get to move seamlessly into this new reality until you have totally purified your energy of this. And what does that take? It takes really being in your authenticity, and it takes a level of devotion that is unmatched. You know that to make something a habit takes time. And to continue to be in a space where it's a habit and you don't relapse takes a lot of commitment. And without that level of commitment, it is simply not possible. It simply will not happen. You'll have a regression. You will find yourself back in a situation that you knew or thought that you had climbed out of before, whatever it is. So in authenticity, what we're talking about is that feeling within you that arises when you are in a space of needing to speak your truth, or in a space of needing to assert yourself so that you do not betray yourself. It's the part of you that has to put yourself first in any situation that is a principled situation, or that is something important to you, or that could possibly jeopardize your own sense of stability or grounding or success, or your ability to move into a place of abundance. Why is my throat chakra acting up? Excuse me. So in saying that, if there is a situation that is unfolding in your life right now that is requiring you to break a tie or connection, or sever a link with a person, a child, a parent, another situation, because of the burden of continuing to carry that, and you are laboring over guilt and shame, or something else that you feel, or maybe even a level of empathy that causes you to put somebody else before you put yourself, understand that that is toxic. Understand that that represents some type of codependency that is not healthy for you. And when we talk about severing, it doesn't have to always mean you don't talk to a person or that you cut off ties with them entirely. What it means is a level of emotional detachment which causes you to no longer be pulled in to those same dramas again and again and again. And once you master it, you're not angry anymore. Once you master it, you're not upset. You're not triggered anymore, because you have released something. You have released that person from culpability, and you have released your energy and freed yourself up to manifest something else that is more beautiful in your life. It is so important to be devoted to speaking your truth, no matter what the situation is, because whenever we feel we need to speak our truth about something, and it arises from a place deep within us, and it's less attached to our ego, our personality, our need to be right, and our need to win in a situation, then it's always related to something that our soul needs. It's always related to some type of intuitive responsibility. Sorry about that, guys. Some type of intuitive responsibility that we have to ourselves that we need to be able to examine. Excuse me. So in saying all of this, it really is time, if you're resonating with this message, it really is time to let yourself off the hook. It's time to speak up, put your foot down, sever a tie, sever a relationship with something that you just simply need to forgive. And the likelihood that you are not able to sever that relationship or to move forward with whatever this may be related to could possibly have to do with the fact that you have not forgiven something. All right, because you feel that it's freeing that person, and instead of realizing that it's actually freeing you. So this is where we are today. Understanding the relationship between needing to be committed, dedicated, and devoted to our own authenticity at a level where we don't allow outside energies, people, situations, and circumstances to jeopardize what is in our best interest, but we also recognize the inner weakness, and also known as the enemy within, that can cause us to sabotage our own progress. I can promise you, the longer you participate in a toxic cycle, the further your abundance. Abundance in terms of health, abundance in terms of relationships, abundance in terms of money, abundance in terms of career, productivity, and anything else that you consider an abundant energy, the further away that abundance moves away from you. Because in order to attract that abundance into your life, you have to be at a certain vibrational frequency, which clearly you are not at, because something is blocking that energy. So you have the reason and the motivation to do it, to free yourself up from something. So that's what we're talking about today. If there is something that you need to let go of, that you haven't been able to let go of, you're holding on to it, let it go. Free yourself, okay? Free yourself. Always know that even if that person didn't get the lesson from you, and you got the lesson that they were supposed to give you, that they will continue to repeat a karmic pattern and attract circumstances, situations, people, and events into their lives until they too get the karmic lesson that they're supposed to get. We are not here to dole out justice in that way. That is not our job. God, the creator of the universe, does that. Okay, everybody is in this classroom of life getting these lessons that they're supposed to get at the time that they're supposed to get them in. It's divine timing. All right, and in the way that they're supposed to get those lessons, and that is what is so important. So you were Tanisha Ali here, Butterfly Transformations. By the way, for those of you who are not connected with my other channel, IamMelaninMagic.com will be up and running in a few weeks. But for those of you who purchase the I Am Melanin Magic hair oil, which is a miracle growth serum along with a million other things, and the I Am Melanin Magic anti-aging serum, maybe you purchase the acne serum, maybe you're purchasing the Fade Magic, these things can be secured by going to my website in the description or sending me a text message at my number, which you can also get via my website information in the description. I will be coming up on 50 in a couple of months, and this has been critical to toning, rejuvenating, restoring, cleansing, purifying, moisturizing, conditioning, brightening my complexion, along with so many other women on my other channel who send me pictures every day to let me know how they are waking up in the world in terms of the way they look and the improvement in their skin, not to mention the hair growth that comes from using this. So if you are interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. I hope that you were able to get something from this message today that you feel can help you move forward in your journey. Let me end with saying that forgiveness is a part of the self-responsibility and acceptance and surrender to the things that we need to be able to surrender to in this life in order to move forward. You can't be about the business of really growing in this life and up-leveling in your vibration if you're not able to forgive, let bygones be bygones, or release yourself from a situation and understand that there's something deeper that was going on beyond the actual situation. You have to be able to view life as a witness, okay, in an observer point of view, to see and ask yourself, what was really going on as you look down at that situation? What was really happening there? What was I supposed to be experiencing? How did I shift out of that energy? And what did the universe bring into my life to assist me in shifting out of that energy? And what doors did I need to close earlier than when I closed them? Because remember, life is a series of open doors, moving into closed doors, transitioning into open doors. That is what life is. Death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth. It's literally the wheel of fortune, okay? So we can't get away from that. So the sooner we close the door on those things that are sapping our energy and draining us, the sooner that we can close the door on those things, the sooner that we can increase our quality of life, our quality of joy, okay? Our quality of being able to experience the beneficence that is inherent and that is an innate part of being in this world as a co-creator. So Tanisha Ali, helping you to gain clarity, up level your mindset, clear and heal energetic blockages, and manifest the glory of God that is within you. I hope that you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope that you're getting in some of this beautiful sunshine, this beautiful weather, and I hope that you are finding ways to be grateful for the gift of life.